Some of you don't even realize you have unfinished business. You need to go back where you left off with a new perspective. Go back to the gym. Go back to the drawing board. Go back to the business. Go back to the relationship. Go back to the burning building. You have unfinished business. All you got to do is show up with a new game plan and a new perspective. You got to finish business.
You have unfinished business. You got work to do. Perspective is everything. Let's go. I need you to hear me loud and clear. How you see this thing is everything. You cannot change the past, but you can change your perspective about it. You gotta see this thing differently. Stop complaining about the divorce. Stop complaining about the job loss. Stop complaining about the relocation. Your viewpoint is your advantage. Thank you for breaking up with me. Here's what you did. You opened up another opportunity for somebody else to come into my life. Thank you for firing me. You gave me an opportunity to explore entrepreneurship. I'm not bitter, I'm better. Perspective is what changes the game. Everybody wants increase and abundance and lifestyle change and new zip codes and new area codes, but you only read once a week and you only work out once or twice a month. And so the reason why you don't have what it is that you see, the reason why what's in your head is not in your hands, it's not your reality, it's because your perspective opposes your potential. You don't have it because you don't see the value in it. If you believe you've been called to be the difference maker, the game changer, the disruptor, the person that comes into a room and commands the atmosphere, if you believe you've been called to be necessary and not grossly irrelevant, then everything you do, everything you see, everything rises and falls on your perspective, your perception, your viewpoint. How do you see this thing? What happens when your perspective, your perception diametrically opposes your reality? If you are going to give and grow and evolve and attain and become, everything rises and falls on your viewpoint. Show me somebody that hates to work out, and I'll show you a man that almost lost his life and the doctor said, if you don't work out, you'll die. One sees it as cumbersome. One sees it as a problem. Another one sees it as a privilege. He sees it as his second chance, his new lease on life, that I have to work out. I get to work out. I get a chance to live a little longer. So one person sees the gym as a prison, and another person sees the gym as a passport. One man came within inches of losing his life, and another man has never come within 100 miles of losing his life, and he only works out twice a month, and somebody else works out 4 or 5 times a week. The reason why you only do it once or twice a month is because you don't see the value. Your viewpoint is either your advantage or your assassin. Your viewpoint will either get you going or get you killed. We see a storm, we see rain, and we think depression. We think I can't do anything. Instead of thinking grass can't grow without rain, roses don't bloom without rain. Number one, there's one thing I need you to stop saying, and that is, I should do something. That perspective, that viewpoint, that ideology, that philosophy, that mindset is gonna get you bankrupt. I should start this. I should stop that. I should forgive. I should. You don't get what you should, you get what you must have. I must work out X amount of times a week. I must forgive. I must evolve. I must become. I must retain. I must grow. I must live. I must evolve. I must go to the next level. I must live in this type of house. I must drive this type of car. I don't care how bad you think the shoes are that you are wearing. There is another man in this world who would kill to walk a mile in the pair that you wear. Marcus, what does this mean? This means that what you are complaining about, what you hate, what you can't stand, what you want to walk out of, what you want to give up on, there is somebody out there that would die to be in your position. And so here's what I need you to ask yourself. Is this problem an issue or is it an opportunity? Some of you, all you've been waiting for your whole life was an opportunity. What if losing your job was the opportunity? What if the divorce is an opportunity? What if the bankruptcy is an opportunity? What if the one you loved was an opportunity for you to reconnect with somebody and forgive them? I need you to see the bigger picture. I need you to have a little gratitude. You need to learn how to smile. You need to work out. I know you hate the gym. I know you hate to lift weights. I know you hate cardio. I know you don't like drinking water. I know you don't like taking care of your temple. You think it's the hardest thing to do in the world to commit. But there is somebody who's in the grave today, and if they had another opportunity to live, they would enthusiastically, with great confidence and courage and consistency, do what you hate just to live a little longer. Find the positive, see the bigger picture, guard your gratitude. The trial, the tribulation, the adversity, the giant is not your assassin. The giant is your opportunity. Are you going to complain in the face of conflict, or are you going to seize the opportunity? I don't care what it is that you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to give, how you're trying to evolve, what you are looking to become. Everything rises and falls on your perspective. Stop complaining about the jealousy and the envy and the backbiting and the person that gave up on you and the person that wasn't present and the person that lied to you and the person that attempted to manipulate and control. I'm not weary, I'm wiser. I'm not toxic, I'm triumphant. I see this thing differently. This season that you've entered into did not come to break you. It came to build you into the man or woman God has destined you to be. Change your perspective.
There's a reason why they say, see the light at the end of the tunnel. If you don't see that light, you're gonna lose your mind. You will lose yourself. You will snap in half if you don't see past this. The challenge for many of us is that we gotta see past our present pain and into the fruitfulness of the future. The right perspective makes the impossible possible. You cannot change the past, but you can always change your perspective. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. The severity of your problems is a matter of perspective. Change your perspective, and most of them become insignificant. Some of them will no longer exist as problems, but opportunities. The right perspective is the instrument you need, the tool you need. It's a discipline, it's an advantage. If you change the way you look at things, then the things that you see will change. Knowledge, a speech, a motivational moment will not sustain you unless you put it into perspective. How will you see the rest of your day? Because how you see the rest of your day will oftentimes determine the way you see the rest of your life. Shift your perspective. If you can change your perspective, you can change the future.
Many of you listening to me right now, you have unfinished business, and you need to go back to that dream, back to that idea. You have a date with destiny. You have unfinished business. It's time for you to go back to the drawing board with a new perspective. It's your viewpoint. And watch this. Your perspective actually shapes your language, and your language shapes your world. And so if you don't start thinking right, you're not going to talk right. And if you're not talking right, you're not going to experience the world that you see in your head. I don't know who God has called you to become, but what I can tell you is if you keep seeing it the way you have seen it, you will never become it. Everybody wants next level. Everybody wants wealth and influence, and everybody wants to be this esoteric novelty. But listen to me, you will never experience any of this showing up in your next season with the same viewpoint.
The right perspective makes the impossible possible.
Good Saturday, DeFi Nation. Good Saturday, NRGY community. Good Saturday, Enfurio community. It is good to be here. It's good to be back. It's good to be doing another one of these Zooms. I want to say hello from, well, it looks like it's pretty sunny today. I'm going to say sunny Kansas. It's a little chilly, but it's nice out. I like this time of year. It's a good time of year. So this meeting, guys, today is really going to, I guess, have that theme about changing your perspective. And hopefully I can get an amen to that video. I thought that was a great video, just a tremendous video. But this is about accepting what you can't change and changing what you can't accept. I want to say that again. Accept what you can't change and change what you can't accept. I know there's a fine line between those, but this is about accepting what you can't change and changing what you can't accept. So let's get into it. I'm going to make this is going to be a fairly quick Zoom, and I'm going to cover a good amount of ground. You know, these past few months with NRGY has been a little rocky. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't think, you know, there's any need to sugarcoat it. We've been waiting for Star Stake to come out. And guys, I'm confident with what they're doing. And I just want to let you know, I do think that they'll be out next month. Now, you know, look, I get it. I understand, you know, sometimes the frustrations because Alan doesn't communicate the greatest, and really that's his, you know, that's his character. And you know, I'd be lying if I told you that, you know, there's things that I'm not always happy with. I'm not always happy, you know, that it keeps getting dragged out longer. I'm not always happy that Alan sometimes fails to communicate in a timely manner. But I will tell you one thing. Alan has got a lot of integrity. He's a good guy. And I know that he's not somebody that would just cut and run. He's in here, he's in this to win it. And I want you guys to know, and I want you guys to understand that. We don't always have to agree with how things are done. And many times, trust me, I don't. But as long as we get to that end destination, that's what's important. And I do have a lot of confidence that we're going to get there. Guys, I want to tell you something. I'm going to share this real quick with y'all. I'm so excited with Star Stake coming out. You guys don't realize these past few months, everything that they've implemented. I mean, no clue. From the compliance of it to make sure, as we know, you know, they're cracking down on the crypto industry, and there's all talk of regulators, you know, that are going to be cracking down on, you know, this industry. So they went above and beyond to make sure that Star Stake was legally compliant, and not just legally compliant, but beyond legally compliant. And so those steps that they've implemented was, you know, those steps that they implemented was necessary for that. The other thing that they're implementing, just to let you know, is they're doing something to where they think it can bring in a lot of money very, very quickly to Star Stake. Something in the social media and advertising realm. I don't know the full scoop on it. That's all I know is it's in the social media and advertising realm, and that they think this is going to really be a game changer coming out of the gate. So I'm really confident, and I just want you guys to know, you know, yeah, things have taken a little bit longer for, you know, NRGY to develop, but we're almost there. We're almost to that destination, and I'm very confident that they will, you know, Star Stake will be out. I believe it'll be out next month. I truly do, guys, and I think it's going, when it comes out, I think it's going to really propel out of the gate very quickly, and I think that's a good thing. So let's continue on with this and accepting what you can't change and changing what you can't accept. That being said, Alan and Chris are handling Star Stake. Okay, Alan's also handling some stuff in the with NRGY as well. What I'm doing, guys, and what I've been doing these past few months is I really want to focus on building value and bringing value to NRGY with something that is in my power. You know, I have to accept the things that I can't change, which is, you know, Star Stake taking a little longer, development taking a little longer, and that's fine. I can accept what I can't change, but I can also change what I can't accept. What I can't accept is that we should have so much more value for NRGY than what we have right now. So I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to get to work bringing value to NRGY. That's very, very important to me. I want you guys to understand I'm in the same boat as everybody else. I have a ton of money tied up in NRGY. So, you know, I want to bring it value. I want to see everybody win, and I'm going to change the things that I can't accept that I have power to do. And I do have power to bring value to NRGY. So I want to get into how I'm going to do that with Enfurio. But before I do that, I should open up, man. I want to see all your faces. I know we have, it's been a minute since we've done a Zoom, and I know we have a good amount of people on here. Let me go ahead and change this to a gallery view. I want you guys to do me a favor, and I want you to turn on your cameras. Turn on your cameras. By the way, Zoom user, you will need to come in as another name. So you will need to come in as your name. I want you guys to turn on your cameras. And I'm going to go ahead and unmute it for a second. Let me hit the unmute. You guys can unmute and just give the world a shout out and just name the country or state or where you're from, and just give a shout out to everybody and say hello. Guys, I'll start and I'll say hello from Kansas.
Oceanside.
Hello from France.
Hello from
Hello from
Pennsylvania.
Vancouver,
Hi
Washington.
from Vegas.
Hello from Ohio.
Yeah, from the Netherlands.
Hello from Florida.
Tampa, Florida.
Good morning
Hello
from
from
Vancouver,
Germany.
Washington.
Greetings from Dubai.
Germany, hi.
Hey, Mark.
Minnesota, hello.
Hey.
Vegas. California.
All right, man. It's good to have you guys.
Vancouver, Washington.
Awesome. We got people from all.
Minneapolis, Indiana.
Got people
Hold
from.
on, from Oceanside.
Awesome. All right, guys. I'm going to
Canada.
mute everybody out now. I'm going to mute everybody out. And man, I appreciate that, guys. It was great. You know, it's always good to see all your faces. I know we have people from all over the world, literally from all over the world, probably every continent except for Antarctica. So it's good to see you guys here. So how do I plan on bringing value? Well, guys, you know that I have my company called Enfurio. And one thing about Enfurio is it is absolutely 100% unequivocally the real deal. Like, people come in there and they get what they pay for. It's above and beyond anything that anybody could imagine. We have a unique style of trading that we use called the power of one. The power of one. And it is a very effective strategy. We trade with risk. We trade risk to generate profit. We manage our risk. This is much different than anything else. I want you guys to know that. I know you see a lot of stuff out on the internet, and you see, you've got all these, oh, I got these AI bots or this automated trader or whatnot. None of that matters. The sine wave is still going to do what the sine wave does. There's only so many, positions that can get in one side and so many on the other. The sine wave is kind of like God's blueprint on the universe. That's the way I describe it, because it always behaves a certain way. And guys, I am a master at reading the sine wave. I think many people can vouch for that, and they've experienced it, and they could see what I see. Now, sometimes the sine wave changes, but that's all a matter of just managing your risk. And when you know how to manage your risk, you know how to win overall. Guys, last year was a tumultuous year in the market. They raised interest rates more than they've ever raised interest rates before, like 4.5%. I don't know if you know this, but when they raise interest rates, the market goes down. And despite a tumultuous year last year, every single trade that we closed for profit. We closed about 34 trades and we won all of them. And our track record is just impeccable because of this power of one strategy we use. And unlike Forex trading where you use leverage, and I'm not a big advocate of leverage. Why? Because most people use leverage before they should use leverage. Leverage is not something that you use to grow your wealth. Leverage is something you use after you have your wealth. You take a small piece that you can afford to lose, and you can go trade leverage in Forex or options or whatnot. But so many times out there on social media, I see people just absolutely preaching it wrong, and it just frustrates the crap out of me. Why? Because it's not a matter of if leverage will catch up with you. It's a matter of when. And there's a day of reckoning coming very soon where we're going to see that market roll off, and it's going to keep going. It's going to go down, and it's going to crash to some pretty low levels. I think everybody knows that, because look at the dollar. They keep printing more of them. We all know that day is coming. Every fiat currency eventually comes to an end. So, it's when you're trading with leverage, you may make 50% one month. You may make 100% only to lose it a few months later. What we do with Enfurio, we do everything one-to-one. It's on the buy and sell side, just like God intended it. We're on the buy and sell side, and we manage our risk, and we build our retirement account. Now, a lot of people, they have to change their perspective when they look at this. Why do you have to change your perspective? Because it doesn't seem like a lot of money at the start. How we trade, how we build a retirement account is the same way that your 401k manager builds it, or the hedge fund manager that's managing your 401k or your retirement. We trade it basically the same way. Only you're not having to pay that hedge fund manager a huge cut, and you're not having to share your profits with the other participants in the hedge fund. Most people don't realize that. Yeah, your 401k, you're sharing the profits that they generate amongst everybody in the group. So they may take a little piece of that and they may trade it, and they may generate a lot of profit on that. Okay, they may generate a ton of profit on that little piece, but what they have to do is they have to go back and share it with all the other participants. Why don't they put the whole thing in? Because they have to have it as insurance in case the market comes down. They've got to be able to cost average, and they've got to be able to better their position. So they're usually only trading with a little bit of that, at any given time, and then they work more and more in the market, and it goes up, and they close it out. I mean, what we do, you could feel literally comfortable, in my opinion, and a lot of people testify to this. actually building your retirement account. We provide the education. What I do is I trade in the markets with the power of one strategy. And when I make a buy, I post it in the group. When I make a sell, I post it in the group. You say, how long does it take? It takes like a minute a day, literally a minute a day. Seriously, you could trade stocks using Cash App if you have a cell phone and you're in the US. If you're not in the cell phone in the US, over in Europe, I think you can use Revolut. There's interactive brokers. There's a place everywhere in the world that you can download an app and trade stocks. I mean, extremely easy, right from your bank account. And so what we do is whenever I buy, you don't have to buy right at the same exact minute that I buy. It's not one of those deals, but just sometime during the day. So if you get in at the end of the day and you see that there's a buy or sell, you just go into your app and hit buy or you hit sell. It literally takes 1 minute a day. And for people that say, I can't find a minute, what I tell them is this: it's a simple decision. You see, if you start with $1,000, okay, you could start with any amount. You start with less if all you could do is less. If you could do more power to you. It's just important that you get started. That's the thing. You just got to get started. And if you start with $1,000, I'm going to use this example. Okay, this is just hypothetical example for hypothetical purposes. And I do have to give the disclaimer: trading carries a high level of risk. You know, you should never invest more money than you can afford to lose in the market. And Enfurio is not to be construed as financial advice. It's actually our opinion on things where we provide the education for trading. I want to make sure I make that disclaimer clear. But if you start with $1,000 and you add to it $200 a month, every single month for 10 years, and along the way, you make a little over 1% a week. Now, keep in mind, some weeks you're going to be in the red and you're not going to do anything. Many weeks you're not going to do anything. And then you're going to have your weeks where you do a heck of a lot more. Okay. Those happen. You take what the market gives. But if you start out with $1,000 and you add to it $200 a month for 10 years, and along the way you make 1% a day, what do you think that is at the end of 10 years? I want to see if anybody knows. What do you think that is at the end of 10 years? So you start out with 1,000, 200 a month for 10 years. That's easy math. That's 24,000. So in 10 years, you've put 25,000 in the market. What do you think that is? Starting with 1,000, adding $200 a month to it for 10 years, and along the way trade it and make 1%, a little over 1% a week. Guys, that's what it is. It's over $5 million. It's over $5 million. I'm not kidding. Go put it into a compound calculator. It is over $5 million. It's crazy. You see, you got to change your perspective, because they've taught you the wrong way all your life. They teach you to go to school and they teach you to get a job. And what do? You work hard, right? Hard for 30 or 40 years of your life. That's what's going to happen with most people. 30, 40 years of their life, sometimes longer, gone. At the end, you have 10 to 15 years to enjoy it before you die. And those 10 to 15 years for the average person, they're trying to enjoy it, guess what, with people who are too busy working 30 to 40 years of theirs. I mean, this is just the fact of life. This is the circle of life. You know, mom and dad grows up, mom and dad gets older, and mom and dad, the kids are too busy to see mom and dad much anymore. That's the story of almost everybody's life. But you can change that. You can change your perspective, and you can change that. And some of you may be saying, well, I'm going to get lucky with this or that. Granted, you could get lucky with something. And if you do, more power to you. But you got to look at, worst case scenario. If you don't get lucky with something, the fact of the matter is you're going to work probably to a point where you only have 10, 15 years left at the end of your life once you retire. I mean, this is just the fact. So it really comes down to a choice about 1 minute a day. And that choice is this. I mean, it's simple. I don't know how old, everybody here is a different age, but let's just assume you have 20 to 30 years left to work in your life. What do you want to do? Do you want to work 20 or 30 years and have a little time left to enjoy it at the end? Or you want to learn how to manage your risk, change your perspective, work hard for 10 years, maybe it's 5 years, maybe you start with more, you know, work hard for 5, 10 years and grind it out, and then be able to have an extra 20, 30 years to enjoy time with your loved ones. Is 1 minute a day during the week worth 20 to 30 years of your life? And that's the question you've got to ask yourself, seriously. I know a lot of people say, well, I haven't traded before. I've never done that. Doesn't matter. Oh yeah, people in there that they guys, I want to read you a testimonial. Heck, I'm gonna pull it up right now. This was a testimonial from just yesterday in Enfurio. Guys, we had a stellar day. And I'm going to show you my plan to add value to NRGY here in just a second. But let me go ahead, and I'm trying to find my other, there it is. I'm trying to find my phone. Somebody who never thought it was possible. This is somebody who never thought it was possible. I got my phone here. I'm going to share my screen. All right, here we go. Somebody who never thought it was possible. Testimonial yesterday. I pull this up on my phone because I want you guys to realize I'm not making this up. Okay. Right here. Let's read this. KL Wolf. So here was her message from yesterday. So I was up 11.48% overall on all of my trades. Yeah, just yesterday alone, she was up 11.5%. Yesterday was a great day. Close to 1,000 with what I have invested. Nice day. A year ago, I would have never thought this was possible and not in my vocabulary. Now it is. Thanks for all your teachings. That was a message just yesterday. And guys, seriously, we have countless testimonials that come in all the time. And so what I do is I make it extremely easy, because I really get a joy out of seeing other people succeed and helping people truly educate people the right way and truly build freedom. You know, we teach in Enfurio, the principle of the power of one is that you've got two things. You've got debt and you've got greed. It's the thing that leads to every man's sin and atrocity in the world. It's the same way in the market. You got debt and you got greed. Same way when it comes to money, the same way when it comes to life. And the thing is, you've got to get rid of the debt, but you can't get too greedy. So the power of one is really about mastering both debt and greed, because when you can master debt and greed, what you find is freedom. What you find is freedom. Now, if you want to see a little bit more about Enfurio and what we do, I'm going to go ahead and go to YouTube, and I'm going to direct you to a video where I show a lot more. I show how easy it is. I'm not going to get into all that today, but I show how easy it is. I show all those things. You can go to Enfurio here, my little boy pointing at the camera, ENFURIO. And if you go to what is the biggest missed opportunities in business? I believe this is it. What is the biggest missed opportunities in business? If you go to this Zoom right here, I go through more about Enfurio. You can skip through the first 20 minutes, but I go through Enfurio and just how easy it is. And there's other videos on there too where I go through Enfurio. And so, you know, Enfurio is really about empowering people. And guys, we're going to start a movement. We're going to start a movement with Enfurio. We're going to start a movement with the power of one. And we're going to bring value to everybody involved, from the Enfurio members, from to the NRGY community, to my own family. And Enfurio is going to be more than just trading, more than just trading. And the reason Enfurio is going to be more than just trading is because we're adding a medical division. We're adding a medical division to Enfurio. I don't think that, and I'm going to tell you what the medical division is going to do. I don't think many of you guys realize, but I have a daughter with a rare genetic mutation. You know, I'm really, for me, it's a race against time. It's a race against time to make things successful. And she has what's called Luden syndrome. Okay, Luden syndrome. I want to show you what Luden syndrome is. I'm going to tell you about our medical division, and I'm going to tell you how we're going to add value to NRGY. So if what Luden syndrome is, guys, is this is a little girl that has it in our group. And I really just want to read you her story. If you see, this is her perfectly healthy. This is her now, okay? What Luden syndrome does is it will basically, kids get sick and then they regress. They regress mentally and they regress physically. And they regress. And basically they regress to the point of mental retardation and then worse. I mean, it's like taking a perfectly healthy person and just watching them wither away into nothing. Okay. So I want to read you a little bit about what this condition is. And from one of the little girls, her mom, who's in our group. You can follow, and by the way, you guys, you can follow along with this little girl. Her name is Sia, or her name's Sophia, but it's Sia Strong. You can follow along with Sophia's journey with Luden syndrome by liking her page, like and share. This is Sophia's story. May 6th, 2019, Sophia had her first seizure. On May 9th, 2019, she was diagnosed with epilepsy. Little did we know that was only the beginning. After genetic testing and repeat MRI, Sophia was diagnosed with leukodystrophy on July 20th, 2020. We traveled to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, September 2020, to visit the Leukodystrophy Center of Excellence, where we learned about her rare disease. There are currently only 16 other children in medical literature diagnosed with her form of leukodystrophy called Luden syndrome. Luden syndrome is a progressive neurodegenerative, that's a tough word, terminal disease. In less than 3 years since her diagnosis, Sophia has lost the ability to walk, talk, eat, swallow, hold her head up, and more. Sophia requires 24/7 care. She has a feeding tube for nutrition. She uses multiple machines for respiratory care, such as a shaky vest, oxygen, suction machine, nebulizer, and cough assist machine. She takes several medications daily to help control seizures and secretions. We use multiple pieces of equipment to transport her, such as a wheelchair, special needs stroller, and a Hoyer lift. She requires a medical bed called a sleep safe bed to help with positioning and keep her safe at night. We had to purchase a wheelchair van to transport her within the community. She sees 7 different specialists and receives PTSD and OT to help maintain her quality of life. We are currently working with her team at school to provide her with a communication device called an AAC. Sophia has an in-home nurse that cares for her while we work and goes to school with her so she can attend school when we have a nurse and she's healthy enough to go. Her schedule consists of care every hour to ensure she's fed, receives her medication, adheres to her preventative respiratory routine, and is repositioned to avoid skin breakdown and pressure sores. She is our 7-year-old newborn baby. So reading all of the above is overwhelming, sad, and incredibly unfair, but through it all, I feel incredibly grateful to still have her smiles, even occasional belly laughs. They are what keeps me going. Sophia has touched not only our lives, but so many within our community. She has certainly changed my life for the better. Everyone has a story. Everyone has their hard and difficult situations that force them to overcome obstacles and find the joy in each day. This is our journey with our daughter. I hope that sharing this with our loved ones and friends helps to shed light on Luden syndrome and rare diseases. Last month was Rare Disease Month, guys. There is so much work to be done to fight these unrelenting diseases. And the very first step is to help these children and future children awareness. Basically, she goes on just to thank people. And you know, just to let you know a little bit more, I mean, we have a group that we have on Facebook. It didn't have a name for the longest time. It was just EIF2 AK2 gene mutation. That was the name. It was a gene mutation. Only 16 other documented cases. There were 17, but one of the little girls died. This is my little girl. This is Maggie. She gets injections once a week in her belly. Every week she gets these injections. They're called immunoglobulin injections. And Maggie's the one that out of all the children is probably beating the odds the most, but she's the only one that's getting these injections every week. So we're a big advocate for them in the group. But she gets an injection in her belly once a week, every single week. And I want to share this story with you. Lastly, and then I want to tell you about our medical division, because I think you guys are going to really like this. This is that same little girl, Sophia. This is a letter her mom wrote. When the adrenaline wears off and I sit here and stare at my little innocent 7-year-old daughter laying in the hospital bed, it just hits you. Oh, the strength. Oh, the ability to do hard stuff. Your family is so strong. Keep up the fight. Guess what? We are tired. We are weak. We are terrified. We wear t-shirts with our kids' names on them and call them fighters and warriors. My life will forever be centered around this beast that's trying to take my daughter. It destroyed me. It destroyed the innocence of my motherhood. My daughter's own body is waging a war against her, and I am powerless to stop it. I can only rub her back or make her comfortable or give her a few minutes out of bed in a little red wagon. Sometimes we can find understanding in the presence of others who have gone through the same trauma. We see the reflection of pain behind each other's smiles. We wonder if we've hidden it well enough to pass in the everyday world. So we aren't strong. We are weathered. We stand up each time, go at it again, because that is what we do. And to be sure, we don't want you to imagine our lives or put yourself in our shoes. We just want cures and research and treatments that give our children 100% chance to be adults. And for those children who don't make it, we want their lives to matter. We want the world to pause just for a moment and acknowledge that we can do more for our kids with rare diseases. Then maybe someday we will only need little red wagons for beautiful leukodystrophy free strolls to the swing sets of the world. So, guys, this is the story. And it's my story. What we're going to do with Enfurio is we're not only going to give value to NRGY, we're going to go find a cure to beat this damn illness. We're going to go find a cure to beat this damn illness. So, that being said, since it is so rare, it has to be self-funded. There is no pharma that will research it, and I don't blame them. You can't blame big pharma. They've got their scientists have to put food on the table for their families. Okay, there's time. It takes money to research this. The only way it's researched is for me to take in a pile of cash into Baylor University, which is the main university that's researching this right now, or whatever university that's researching it, and pay their students, their graduates, their doctors that are researching, pay them to go research a cure. You know, use the equipment at the university and go research a cure. And that's exactly what we're going to do with our medical division. That's exactly what we're going to do for our medical division. Now, when we find a cure, Enfurio is going to own 50% of the cure. Enfurio will own 50% of the cure, at least 50% of the cure. I'm going to make sure. Now, it may not mean a lot for you guys, but it would mean the world to those 16 families that have this condition. And so to those 16 families and to anybody else who gets this condition, that medicine is going to be free. It's not going to cost anything when we find a cure. But here's the silver lining. I don't know if you realize, but a lot of times when they find a cure for a little illness, or not, it's not a little illness, but a lesser, affects lesser people. Many times when they find a cure for something like that, guess what? It unlocks the door. It's a key. It's a cure or a treatment for something that's much bigger, that affects many more people. And I'm going to tell you, that medicine won't be free. We're going to own 50% of the cure. And the people that are in Enfurio, you know, they're going to be rewarded. They're going to be rewarded. Especially, you know, those people that have lifetime memberships in Enfurio, they're going to be rewarded when that happens. And I just think that for this story to complete, Star Stakes mega successful. Enfurio is really helping change lives. And Enfurio finds a cure for something that doesn't affect very many people, but turns out to be a much bigger medication for something much more major. And now Enfurio owns at least 50% of that cure. I think it's almost written in the stars. And it's what we're going to do. It's what we're going to put. It's you know, this is how it's going to play out. You know, I'm going to manifest it, I should say, as people call it. So how will Enfurio bring value to NRGY? Well, let's talk about that. So Enfurio, to get access to Enfurio's membership, it's going to be $49.95 for a lifetime membership, $4,995, $595 for an annual access for 1 year, $345 for a semi-annual access for 6 months, $25 a month if somebody just wants a list of stocks with analysis that we hold at the beginning of each month. So I give the analysis on how they can play them, and they just, you know, I give, you know, I tell them the you know, stocks that I'm holding at the beginning of each month and my analysis on them, and they get the newsletter basically. Now I'm doing something special for the NRGY community. I'll get to that here in a second. What we're going to be having is what's called NRGY asset-backed NFTs. What are NRGY asset-backed NFTs? Well, I think you'll see, you know, we did this. When I designed this, I made sure it was designed compliantly the right way. So after sales tax and credit card processing fees, 20% of the purchase that somebody makes will be used to buy and tie up NRGY into an asset-backed NFT, okay? So whenever somebody purchases Enfurio, and guys, we're looking at opening up a technology division and a media division, and we're looking to open up some other divisions too, I'll just say that. But whenever somebody purchases an Enfurio product, 20% after sales tax and credit card fees, 20% is tied up into NRGY. It's used to buy NRGY, and the more NRGY we tie up, we all know that NRGY is extremely limited in supply. I mean, less than 1 million coins in circulation. So purchasers get this free NRGY asset-backed NFT as a rebate on their purchase. They get it as a rebate. There's no expectation of profit. Why? Because if there was, then they just go, you know, they go buy something else. But it's a rebate on their purchase, and it's basically in the form of NRGY. This rebate is. An energy asset-backed NFT can be burnt, and the cash value of the energy behind it can be redeemed at any time after a membership expires. So after that membership expires, they can unlock the energy in their asset-backed NFT. Lifetime memberships can redeem the cash value of their energy asset-backed NFT at any time, but they will lose access to the lifetime membership when they do so. So maybe the value of their rebate went way above what they paid for their lifetime membership. They just cash out their rebate and then pay for another lifetime membership, basically, in that scenario. So since energy is extremely limited in supply, this gives people a chance to be rewarded from the growth of Enfurio on their rebate. As the Enfurio membership grows, more and more energy gets tied up. Here's a hypothetical example. Let's say someone purchases an annual membership for $5.95 when the price of energy is $20. They would receive an NFT with almost 5 energy tied up in it right now. Okay. Now let's say the price of energy is $100. Someone who purchases an annual membership for $5.95 would receive an NFT with only about 1 energy tied up in it. Okay, because the value is now higher, so they're going to get less energy, same dollar amount, but that's their rebate. And so as more and more energy gets tied up, guess what happens? The value rises as more and more supply gets tied up from the demand of Enfurio's products. So if energy price was $1,000, they would receive an NFT with about 0.1 energy tied up in it in that scenario, et cetera, et cetera. I think you get the point. So they're going to get this energy when they purchase, they're going to get this basically rebate and energy, and they have to hold that until the end of their membership, and then they can cash it out if they choose to do so, or they can hold it, and it should be pretty good. Because each year, every time they purchase, they get one of these. So there's a USDC reward for the energy community that I'm going to include. 5% of every membership after sales tax and credit card processing fees will be paid to the incentivized energy community for advertising. Okay. So after sales tax and credit card fees, 5% is paid to the community for advertising. Sales tax and credit card fees, they're about 20%. Our credit card fees are a little higher because we use something called Launch Pass on Discord. Then you got to figure sales tax is usually about 10 to 12% right now. So it's about 20%. And then so whatever is after that, 5% gets dispersed to the energy community. Now, who's ready to hear about a big promo before I open it up for Q&A? I've got a big promo. Here's what the big promo is. If you currently hold, I was going to give Enfurio to Energy for free, just so you know. I was, but then I thought about it and I said, no, if some people get something for free, they don't see the value. And I actually had somebody else tell me this. They don't see the value in it. Don't give it away for free. And I said, that's a good point. So if you hold any energy, and plus, I'll be honest with you, I could use the advertising dollars right now because I want to advertise Enfurio. We're getting ready to advertise Enfurio out there. So if you currently hold any amount of energy, $60 will get you the first 6 months membership, then $345 auto billed every 6 months until canceled. Okay. If you want a year, you could get a year for $120, and then $595 auto billed each year until canceled. So it basically comes out to $10 a month for the first 6 to 12 months. That's pretty unbeatable. So you get $60 for the first 6 months or $120 for the first year. The promo purchasers will not receive an NFT until paying full price. No USDC rewards will be paid to energy stakers on promo purchases, but USDC rewards will be paid once the promo purchaser is paying full price. I want to make that clear as well. Now, share. Why? Because there's a way to onboard people in Enfurio. And as we onboard people in Enfurio, guess what we're doing for the value of energy? we're giving energy value as well. Okay, so more power to it. As we're onboarding people in Enfurio, like I said, we're giving energy more value. So providing you are an energy holder, you can invite people to join the promo price, even if they currently don't hold any energy. Keep in mind, they will be an energy holder once they are paying full price after the promo ends. The promo price will not be advertised on the Enfurio website. Only those holding energy will have the link to the special hidden page to offer the promo price. So it's going to be a hidden page. If you have energy, you can take advantage of it yourself. If you have energy, you can go out and you can offer the promo to people. You can offer the promo to people who have or don't have energy. It really doesn't matter. You know, you're going to have that you can offer them that special link. I'm also going to start a trip for Enfurio, an annual Enfurio trip. Okay. And we already discussed this in our group in Enfurio, and I'm pretty excited about this. We're going to have an annual Enfurio trip. The first one's probably going to be an Alaskan cruise, and there'll be 1,500 points per person needed to receive a free vacation. So if you get 1,500 points in the year, you get a vacation every year, and those will roll over too. That, you know, they'll roll over if people renew their memberships and whatnot, which is pretty cool. So, you know, if you have two people that want to go, you need 3,000 points. You know, you get the drift. So you receive points for every membership you refer. If you refer on a lifetime membership, it's worth 500 points, an annual is worth 100 points, and a semi-annual is worth 50 points. And you can get people, you can offer the promo to people, get people on the promo, and then once the full price kicks in, after the promo ends, they can, you know, you can start earning those points on them to join in on our annual trip each year. So this is basically how Enfurio is going to bring energy value. When that full price kicks in, we don't have it ready yet for the NFTs, but they'll start, you know, we'll have that money there. And when those NFTs are ready, we'll give them their NFT, their rebate on their purchase. And the same way with the 5% that goes to energy stakers for advertising. And we will have that. The promo is not ready yet. I'm getting ready to go on vacation with my family for a couple of weeks. My kids have spring break. So when I get back, I will get the promo page up. But if you want to get with Enfurio right now, you can go to Enfurio.com and you can hit subscribe. I'm going to tell you this. Okay, I'm only going to say this once. You can go to Enfurio.com and you can hit the subscribe button. The prices on there right now are lower prices. Okay, they're my pricing for the past year. If you want to wait for the promo, that's fine. But if you want to go ahead and get this current pricing and you want it locked in, okay, you want it locked in to where you're going to be able to get it ongoing in the future, you could sign up in the meantime. And for some reason, it's not going to Enfurio.com. My internet is running slow. But if you go to Enfurio.com, you go to subscribe, it's $120 a quarter every 3 months or $400 a year. That's what it is right now, $120 a quarter or $400 a year. But you'll always get it for that going forward. So when I get back, I'll get the payment page done for the promo, and you guys can take advantage of that, and you guys can start offering that to people. But in the meantime, I just wanted you to know that that was there. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're really going to bring value. I'm going to bring a whole ton of value to energy with what I know very well. And that's helping people succeed in the markets. Guys, I'm just telling you, you look back at this moment 5-10 years from now, you're going to be thanking yourself that you listened to me. I'm pretty confident of that, because you're going to get a whole lot of education from Enfurio. It's really going to help you empower yourself. The last thing I want to say to close this out, I want you to understand something about energy. And I was going to address this at the beginning. Guys, there's really no reason for us to grow the energy community anymore. You know, energy is not predicated on an endless amount of people coming in. That's not what energy is predicated about. Energy, it's about building value with the things that give energy value. And so if we build value with StarStake and we build value with Enfurio, it's going to give energy value the way it's designed. And quite frankly, I really don't care if another person comes in and stakes energy. Why? I'm going to be honest with you. We have the group that we want to take to the finish line right now. Why bring more people in and increase the circulation of energy? Because if you know how the staking works, when coins are staked, that's what pays out the reward. That's what determines the reward. So there's no reason to increase the supply. I mean, yeah, the minting contract's going to be there. If you have a friend that you know or whatnot, and you want to tell them about energy, do it. By all means, do it. But my point is, I'd be very happy if we had less than 1 million coins in circulation the time it was all said and done. If we only had 600,000-700,000 coins in circulation, I'd be fine with that. I think all of you guys would too. Why? Because when you have a lower supply, as you add value, guess what? The value rises a lot quicker. I mean, it's just common sense. You know, as you add value, you have a low supply, you add value, the value is going to rise quicker because the supply is lower. And we have that opportunity right here. So with that, I'm going to open it up for Q&A, but I just want to tell you guys, man, I'm really excited for what the future holds, you know, not just for all of us, but every one of you guys individually. You know, you really have that power within you to change your perspective. Everybody has what I call the power of one. It's the risk management strategy we have. Every single person alive has what's called the power of one within you. And what we show you how to do in Enfurio is to change your perspective to be able to unlock it. And I'm going to tell you, when you realize the power of one and how big of a difference your life can make by embracing it, and how you can affect the outcome of the entire universe around you, then you'll understand what the power of one is. The power of one is what's going to change the world, and it's what's going to change energy. And it's what's going to change and get a cure for my little girl.